Coming up on AgweekTV, the House Ag Committee picks new leadership. We have reaction.
We'll take you to Grand Forks, North Dakota and visit with 3 farm daughters who have started a new food company.
Being able to install drain tile into mid-December is like a Christmas gift for farmers and installing companies.
We'll have details of the December WASDE report. And a farmer from our region is in line to be the next leader of U.S. Wheat Associates. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. Ag leadership is beginning to take shape in Congress and in the new administration, and it looks like a familiar face will be heading USDA. President-elect Joe Biden is expected to nominate former U.S. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack for the same position on his cabinet. He served all 8 years as Ag Secretary under President Obama, so Vilsack's experience is a plus, according to farm groups, as well as his strong understanding and support of Midwestern agriculture and biofuels.
He knows what small refinery exemptions are and how that program has been abused. And I would expect that Tom Vilsack is going to continue to be an ally of ours in getting the RFS back on track.
Vilsack's trade background is also a benefit. He's worked with China and is expected to hold them accountable on the Phase 1 deal. He's currently CEO of the U.S. Dairy Export Council. The House Ag Committee has also picked new leadership while making history. Congressman David Scott of Georgia was named the first African-American leader of the committee. He was elected by the Democratic caucus to replace former Chair Collin Peterson, who lost re-election. Scott says he intends to bridge the divide between rural and urban Americans. He's been on the Ag Committee for 18 years and grew up working on his grandparents' farm. Farm groups are welcoming the chair and says he brings a wealth of experience to the job.
He has ag background. He's been on the ag committee for a long time, so he does know agriculture, and he's been good in ag circles. So I don't think we'll have any problem getting on that boat.
The House Ag ranking member will be Republican Glenn Thompson from Pennsylvania. Now, Kevin Scott isn't worried about the fact there is no leadership from the Midwest because the Ag Committee has a reputation for being nonpartisan and non-regional in focus. Before leaving as Ag Chair, Peterson has unveiled a bill to expand the Conservation Reserve Program to 50 million acres over the next 5 years. That's more than double the current 22 million acres enrolled. Instead of the current 27 million acre cap, H.R. 8843 would set a minimum requirement.
It requires the Secretary they actually have to sign up 50 million acres, and giving them 5 years to do it. But, under the old program, it allowed them to go up to that level. This would actually require it.
Peterson says his bill would also pay farmers for carbon sequestration. He doesn't expect the bill to be passed before he leaves office, but says it serves as a marker. USDA's Risk Management Agency has finalized a crop insurance change for spring crops that will require farms nationally to meet the 1 in 4 planting requirement, meaning the acres must be planted and harvested at least once every 4 years to be eligible for prevented planting coverage. The rule was already in place in the Prairie Pothole region. Also, PP acres will no longer be subtracted in a field when an insured crop fails in part of the field and is replanted with a different uninsured crop. Other changes are on RMA's website. The December WASDE report showed some slight revisions from November. USDA pegged U.S. soybean ending stocks at 175 million bushels, down just 15 million from November. World stocks were down less than 1 million tons. USDA left U.S. corn ending stocks unchanged, but lowered world carryout by 2.5 million metric tons. And U.S. wheat carryout was lowered 15 million bushels, but the bigger cut was world ending stocks down 4 million metric tons. Randy Martinson joins us with report analysis. Ending stocks on soybeans, U.S. only lowered 15 million bushels. That seemed to be a disappointment to the trade, but do you expect further revisions and cuts in January?
I do. I mean, they came in and made the adjustments to the crush number, which most were anticipating because of our record crush pace that we've been seeing. They made no changes to the exports, which, our exports were very strong to start with. And a lot of them were, the trade was concerned that maybe USDA wouldn't make changes in this report because we've seen this slowdown since Thanksgiving, or actually since November 9th. So it wasn't surprising that they didn't change it, but I do think they're going to have to make adjustments after the first of the year.
Also disappointed that USDA left Corn ending stocks at 1.7 billion bushels, same as last month.
Same as last month. Now, we did see a lot of changes to corn in last month. We were still expecting to see a little bit in this month. I mean, we were, of course, the average trade guess had them 11 million below where they came in at. So it was a little disappointing. There was no changes to the corn number. We should have maybe seen a small adjustment, but I think USDA is going to wait that until they see the January final production numbers.
And we had a small adjustment in the U.S. wheat numbers. The bigger adjustment was the 4 million metric ton drop in the world stocks. What happened there?
Well, we did see an increase in production, which we expected in Canada and also in Australia. But we did see it has to be bigger demand coming from some of the other areas. China did see a little bit of cut in production. You know, overall, it's hard to say it. How many times have we said wheat actually was the most favored in the reports? This one was a little bit friendlier towards the wheat side. And
that wheat number should continue to get what, bigger or smaller, do you think?
I think we're going to see it get smaller. I mean, I'm a little friendly on the wheat side. It tells us that, you know, USDA increased exports for U.S. by 10 million. That was a surprise when our exports were there at. That tells us that maybe there's some demand that's coming in the backside of or next year that we're not quite anticipating, likely from China because of the drop in production.
All right. Appreciate your analysis, and you can get more of our full analysis, Randy and I, at agweek.com. About 2,000 hogs died in a barn fire in southeast Minnesota. Blooming Prairie Fire Chief Dean Natt says the state fire marshal is investigating the cause. An Animal Welfare Institute associate says barn fires seem to be steadily increasing and adds it's often difficult or impossible for animals to escape, so they're focusing on prevention.
We'd like to see more sprinklers in these types of facilities. Another thing would be better smoke detection systems and carbon monoxide systems.
According to data compiled by AWI, about 5 million farm animals nationwide have died in barn fires since 2013, with the majority being chickens. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll meet a farmer who wears many hats, and she's about to put on another one, the head of a national ag organization.
No one knows agriculture quite like AgriFinancial. With more than 500 combined years of ag experience, our ag lending experts truly understand your business. Since 1989, our mission has always been honesty, integrity, and commitment to quality service for our customers. Get started today at cgb-agfi.com.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Insurance. It's not something you think about every day, but it is something you need to get to your next destination, to preserve what you've built, to secure what you'll leave behind, to safeguard the things you value most. Enjoy peace of mind knowing you have protection from the unexpected, security all year round, and expertise you can trust. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Now is the best time to plan for your 2021 farm equipment needs. North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing is currently offering early order savings. Take advantage of big savings on North America's broadest tillage line, including the Super Kohler Samurai and the innovative VRT Renegade, as well as the best-built, best-backed land rollers in the industry. Talk to your Summers dealer today or go to summersmfg.com to learn more about early order savings available on all Summers equipment.
AgWeek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the AgWeek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the AgWeek podcast is the show for you.
An East Grand Forks, Minnesota farmer and teacher is also an important national voice for wheat growers. In addition to all her other duties, Rhonda Larson is next in line to be chair of U.S. Wheat Associates. Jonathan Knutson talked to Larson about all the hats she wears in this week's Ag Week cover story.
Rhonda Larson grew up on the farm where she and several family members raised wheat, soybeans, and sugar beets. 3 decades ago, she returned to the farm full-time. A half dozen years ago, she became a substitute teacher during the winter in Minnesota.
I was looking for something to do in the wintertime, and it just was a good fit for me. I enjoy working with kids, and it's fun, and it keeps you young, I think.
Larson also is a big advocate for U.S. wheat growers. She serves as National Vice Chair of U.S. Wheat Associates, which promotes U.S. wheat sales around the world.
They want to talk to farmers. That's a big deal to them.
She was scheduled to take over as chair in the summer of 2021, but the pandemic pushed that back to 2022.
How are we supposed to sell wheat, and how are we supposed to get overseas to get it done? It's really challenging. For us to even have a meeting here in the U.S. is challenging.
Another challenge is the price of U.S. wheat. Though it's hard to make a profit on it, U.S. wheat costs more than wheat sold by many competitors. But U.S. wheat's quality is higher, and that's part of the message.
We're working really hard to try and get wheat and get the best price we can to keep it, that it's not just a rotational crop, but you can make a profit at it, and it's tough.
So whether it's in the field, or classroom, or foreign country, Larson stays busy by promoting wheat and ag and helping to educate students. In East Grand Forks, Minnesota, this is Jonathan Knutson for Ag Week.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. Many farmers have had to deal with some rough weather the past few seasons, but this year was a different story. And as Michael Pates found, that means an added bonus for those who installed drain tile as well.
This is kind of like Santa Claus coming at Christmas.
For Dustin Mumm, tiling is the gift that will keep on giving. It'll make his soil easier to work in wet conditions and protect his crops from flooding rains, and it will increase the value of his land.
This is exciting. I'm really happy and excited about having this project going, and I'm nervous about getting it done because of the weather, and we are in December, because I'd like to get with this heavy ground, you got to get it worked and prepped decent for spring.
Mumm's been planning this 400-acre project for nearly 5 years, but didn't expect to be able to get it done this year.
This last year was the worst year that I can ever remember.
Last year, a late spring and cold, wet harvest took a toll on the Detterman family's company, Field Drainage Incorporated. They could complete only about 2/3 of their scheduled projects. This year, his crews will be able to keep working until nearly Christmas. Most years, they wrap things up about a week after Thanksgiving.
To have a year like this means an awful lot to us, and I know it means a lot to the farmers that haven't been able to get things done for the last 2 years as well.
So a happy note to end 2020 and visions of profit for decades to come. For Ag Week, this is Michael Pates at Wahpeton, North Dakota.
Detterman expects business to end up 50% higher in 2020 than they projected, especially if they're able to keep going.
Coming up on Ag Week TV, we'll introduce you to 3 farm daughters who have used their business acumen to start a new agriculture food company.
And later,
we'll take a look at how one cattle show has decided to push through the COVID-19 pandemic.
Challenges. We all face them at some time. But it seems that ag has seen its fair share over the past few years. Has your farming operation been able to stand the challenges? If not, maybe it's time to talk to the risk management specialist at Martinson Ag. We can help you make the sound decisions to help your operation weather the storm. Martinson Ag, your one-stop shop for crop insurance, livestock insurance, and marketing. We are here to take your operation to the next level.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
This off-season's downtime is the perfect chance to get ready for spring with North Star Ag's lineup of quality farm equipment. We carry Meridian Seed Express bulk tenders for seed handling in the field, Batco conveyors for moving grain and seed at the farm, plus Meridian Grain Max hopper bins for quality storage at great prices. We've also got high output, easy to operate Valmar fertilizer spreaders ready to go. Visit northstar-ag.com or stop by our new location off I-94 in Tower City, North Dakota to see our full lineup.
You've worked your entire life for this. Through the ups and downs, you've stood strong, building a legacy to be proud of. With all good things in this world, there are still risks. It's a part of life. You need protection you can count on. We're not just here to insure your equipment, your vehicles, or your home. We're here to protect everything you've built. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Go beyond the headlines with an Ag Week membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Ag Week and AgweekTV.
It's hard to believe it's December with the above normal temperatures we've had in the region. How long will it last? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Winter marches on, seemingly without a lot of effect, at least into the Great Plains, much of the northern plains anyway, not seeing a lot of hard weather. We do have a little bit of a colder pattern settling in now, but no big storms and nothing really Arctic moving into the Great Plains or the upper Midwest. It has been quite a bit colder than average the last week or so over the eastern United States, and some of that will continue this week with this rather deep jet stream dip there. Relatively cold temperatures this weekend with the dark blue, and by the demarcation of cold, I'm referring to weather that is mostly below freezing, not necessarily the frigid stuff, which is where it's mostly below zero. So this would be more standard December fare across much of the Dakotas and around the Great Lakes. Pretty chilly weather, though, for the season down into the deep south. The Rocky Mountains are characteristically cold. We're seeing a little bit of cool down along the west coast, but nothing really all that dramatic shaping up. And we're starting to see the frigid weather, the sub-zero stuff, moving to central Canada. So it's sort of, you might say, there for the taking. But right now, the pattern remains primarily in a west to east, granted a bit ambulatory, but enough west to east to it that we're not tapping into that really cold air and bringing it southward. If you want warmth, go to South Florida, South Texas, Southern California. Not a lot of heat left in this pattern. As we move forward into the week that ends with Christmas, it's still going to be relatively cold, though there may be a bit of a mild surge some point that week. I do expect by the holiday, it's fairly likely that the weather will be as it has been. In other words, for the Dakotas down through Iowa and across the Great Lakes, a lot of weather in the 20s and low 30s, maybe a stray day up to 35, 36. Some of that cold weather, though, will be getting pretty far south along the eastern seaboard for the week of Christmas. It's not going to be that cold anywhere. The really frigid stuff will stay up in the higher latitudes, but it'll be cold enough for snow in the east, and there will likely be some snow. This week, one storm system moving along the Atlantic seaboard will likely generate some snow, at least in the interior sections of the Northeast, probably some rain along the coast. With those eastern storms, the rain-snow line is often very much a challenge, so that's something that's fairly iffy. In the Pacific Northwest, the rain-snow lines are usually much easier. It's going to be coastal rain and interior snows out there this week. But as we move ahead into the week that includes Christmas, you'll notice the pattern not changing much. If we're going to see a white Christmas for the Dakotas, Iowa, most of the western Great Lakes, it's going to happen with probably just a light snow system. I don't see any big snows. There will be another fairly likely storm system in parts of the Northeast. The Southeast will continue to be rainy. Pacific Northwest down through Northern California will be getting ample moisture over the next couple of weeks with snows filling into the northern Rockies, but in the middle of the country, not a particularly active pattern.
Schedule an uptime inspection for your equipment with the Case IH service professionals at your local Titan Machinery. Our Case IH certified service technicians have the training, experience, and genuine Case IH parts to ensure your equipment is ready for next season. Planting and harvesting windows are short. Have confidence in your equipment's performance with a Titan Machinery multi-point uptime inspection. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH service leader.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed-flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality galvanized steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
If you have a basement waterproofing or structural emergency, Safe Basements North is here to help. Our team of basement repair professionals will find the cause of the problem and work with you to develop a permanent solution. Safe Basements North is following CDC recommendations and is here to help keep your home and family safe. For a free consultation, go to safebasementsnorth.com and take advantage of our 12-month, no interest, no payments offer.
I'm Jesse Treble, and peace of mind is a safe basement.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
A master's in business, a law degree, and an entrepreneur at age 19. Combining that background, three sisters from Grand Forks, North Dakota, returned to their farming roots to start a company they believe reflects a growing niche in the food industry. Agweek's Katie Pinky has more.
In Grand Forks, North Dakota, three farm daughters recently launched their flour and pasta line. It includes nutrient-dense products that are high fiber and high protein. Tell us how this business idea got started.
So about 3 years ago, our father, Paul Sproul, read about this company called Arcadio Biosciences out of Davis, California. They had this proprietary wheat variety called Good Wheat. That year, we grew some test pots for them. From there, we have been growing this Good Wheat on our farm. We are the only farm in North Dakota that's been growing this Good Wheat.
So who had the idea on the business plan of we're going to take this Good Wheat variety that we're raising on our farm and turn it into flour and pasta?
Our dad was really the one that was like, girls, there's something here. This is something good. Let's use it and share it with the world. We just want to be able to give people food that we wanted to eat. And so when we created the brand, it really is just exactly who the three of us are.
It's kind of funny because when we had this idea and we went to Arcadio Biosciences and they said, this brand is just like you three girls. They're like, we just see it coming through the PowerPoint.
Where is the wheat for your products grown?
So, we've been growing this Good Wheat on our farm here in North Dakota for 3 years, but it's also being grown out in Idaho and a couple other locations, but we would love to bring it, fully to our area.
So tell me about what nutritionally dense means for three farm daughters.
No fillers, no dyes, and no lies. So our ingredient lists are really short, clean label. We don't want to add anything that doesn't need to be in it. So just for a little comparison, it has 11 grams of fiber when your traditional pastas have about 2. And then it has 30% less calories, and it has 2 more grams of protein as your traditional pastas as well. Being that it's reduced gluten, the flour is not ideal for traditional bread making, but we've gotten to really get to know it better and know what it's really great for. So pull-apart rolls, pizzas, naans, cookies, brownies.
What's the long-term goal?
We want to be scalable. We love the product so much, and we're hoping that everyone else will love the product so much, and we'll have more and more consumers buying. And if 100 million people are buying flour, we're going to need a lot more farmers to grow this wheat. So we're hoping that we can contract with growers, and we'd love to have it in the Red River Valley and kind of go from there.
You can find their products on the Three Farm Daughters website, in Hugo's stores, and soon in Hornbacher stores. Many ag shows and events are being canceled because of the pandemic, but the North Star Classic went on as scheduled. In fact, organizers say the 21st annual livestock show was bigger than usual because of all the other show cancellations. The Classic was held at the Valley City Winter Show building, and manager Tessa Klein says it was vital to hold the show as planned.
The committee and myself believe that if we did not have the show this year, we wouldn't have it again, that it could hurt us that much. And everybody is just extremely happy to have a show going on.
You know, they've already put money into these animals, let alone purchasing them, but feeding them. And so we wanted to give them an opportunity to come here and show off their hard work. You know, it's kind of like you wait all year for Christmas, and this is kind of like the Christmas to a lot of those kids.
Exhibitors from 5 states took part. In addition to showing, there was also a cattleman's ball and a country Christmas vendor show. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll tell you about a tasty new feature for AgWeek viewers and readers.
Growing up as a kid, Gateway was always the grain bin building and the grain handling people that were out in our area. One of the reasons we chose to go with Gateway was they're the leader in the industry and they are the #1 Brock dealer in the United States. We've really liked the Brock design and some of the designs that Gateway has come up with throughout the years. My best advice would be to just put your trust in them and let them come up with the design that's going to fit your needs.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
For Ag Week, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
You may know Kristen Clark as the Iowa farmer who writes the Food and Swine blog, along with being a monthly Ag Week magazine columnist. Now, Ag Week readers and viewers are in for a treat. We'll be featuring monthly video recipes with Kristen at agweek.com. She'll start this week with a special no-chill sugar cookie recipe. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Ag Week TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Have yourself a great and safe week.